Good day and welcome to this first segment, Monday afternoon, of this week's A Week at the Plot. I'm looking at our broad beans, and about a week or so ago, maybe 10 days ago, there was a real proliferation of ladybirds, which I thought was really great. I had sprayed these with Grazer's organic spray, and despite that we have got blackfly, which you can see, and sadly it's still proliferating. I've sprayed them and these are all sort of new ones that have come back in here. And I was hoping the ladybirds would do the trick, and then bugger me if I didn't come down just sort of, was it Friday I think, or I think it was Thursday or Friday, and I noticed 3 magpies in this bed, and I thought, oh, I wonder what they're doing, and they flew off, and I had a look through the bed and couldn't really see anything, and then I realized I couldn't really see very many ladybirds despite there having been loads. And then it dawned on me that actually what was happening is the magpies were feeding on the ladybirds, and it was like, oh no. And then I was sort of like, do I spray with soapy water? Because if you spray with soapy water, it damages ladybirds as well as aphids, because it interferes with the breathing, how they breathe. It bungs up how they breathe. That's what happens. And then I was noticing that we've actually, I thought, well, maybe there'll be some ladybird larvae coming. And I noticed the other day that yesterday, there's one, look. Can you see there? Will it focus in just here? No, it's not focusing. It's going to be one of those days. There we are. That's a ladybird larvae. And when I look around, can you see another one in there? There's actually, I think there's more the other side, or I saw more the other side. There's quite a few ladybird larvae coming. Go down here, there's another one there. Not sure if you can see, there's 2 there. And at the same time as seeing that, I still think that the another one in there. Look, there's one ladybird. Look, one ladybird, and there's a ladybird larvae in there. Not sure if you can see that. There's lots of larvae coming. Oh, another ladybird. Lots of larvae coming, but I don't know. I think these beans are so infested now, I don't really think they will come to anything. Maybe I'll give it another week and then see. But what I did do is I planted our squash amidst them, and I can see on this one there's some aphids, blackfly coming on that one, but there are 3 aphids, ladybird larvae rather, on that one. I don't know. And then where we put our beetroot in last week, which I was worried were going to be munched by slugs or snails, actually I came down the next day and our brassicas had been pecked by birds. And I don't get brassicas being pecked by birds at this time of year here. It's just one thing after another again. Last year it was different, one things after another. And what I am noticing in here, which I don't mind, is a lot of munching of this caterpillar here. Can you see that? A mullein moth caterpillar. which do munch on those don't have an issue with them munching on them. Not much munching on that one yet. Anyway. Oh. Yes, what to do with the broad beans? I think I just leave them. There are lots of larvae I can see from here. I don't know why I can see more from here than I could the other side. Maybe because they're in the sun this side. Maybe that's it. And our cucumbers that I put in last week are doing okay over there. I'm not going to say, I think they're pretty established plants. I can see this leaf over here has been munched a little bit, but fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Oh, look, there's one of the magpies. Not sure if you can see through the greenhouse. There's a magpie over there pecking at something. Anyway, let me show you something up there. Over the weekend I pricked out a whole load of lettuce. There's 2, 4, 6, 8 lettuce there, some parsley, there's a dill over here, and these are rocket here, and some coriander there. At the back are empty cells. I did take a verbena cutting the other day, which I just put in there. I need to give these a good water, but because these are going to be going in, I would have thought in about a week's time they'll be going into the ground. I need to think about successional sowing. So I'm going to be sowing a couple of types of lettuce today. And also because we had the beetroot in over there, which were modular sown, I think I'm also going to do a follow on of modular sown beetroot. And I might do a direct sowing later in the week of beetroot and turnips here. I think that would be a sensible thing to do. I noticed when I was weeding the other day, I wasn't sure, I'm not sure whether that's a calendula or I don't think it's a dandelion, but I did notice here, I think this is a chard, so I've left that in. And then there's a couple of things there, not sure what those are. You see, you've got lots of ladybirds here. Look, you see that one there? There's one running there, in there. Lots of ladybirds here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is our rhubarb, but again lots of blackfly, so I might take it down. And this rhubarb, I think I've said it before, I just leave it here as a structural plant more than anything else. It's not a tasty one. Oh, we've got a bit of ladybird sex going on there. Yeah. Oh, sorry. 2 ladybirds. He was doing a little bit of quivering over her a minute ago. We'll leave them get on with it. I've prepared my modules here for the beetroot, and I'm going to be sowing into these 9cm pots for the lettuce, not because it needs this depth, but just because actually I really enjoy pricking out, and I've decided I'm going to do this because these then take up a little less space than my my normal seed trays. I just thought I'd have a go. I did it with the parsley, and I rather enjoyed the pricking out, I must say. I mean, I prick out with the half seed trays, but yeah, I just thought I'd give it a go. I'm just putting these maybe there's 10 seeds there, something like that. That's the Lobjoy's green, which I'm not sure whether whether the seeds are actually viable. I think I've sown them before and they haven't been. Then next up, gosh, these are slightly bigger, same colour, are saved seed. I have no idea what variety of lettuce this is, but it's our own saved seed. Stupidly, I think when I did this, I just didn't know what variety it was. And then in this end one, I'm putting some new seeds. Gosh, there's a lot in there. These are the Lollo Beyonder, like Lollo Rosso but green rather than red. Ross being red, Beyonder blonde. That's where we get blonde from, because of course English is such a mix of different languages. We like to think we're original in many ways, but in our language we've stolen from everyone. So what did I say? I said, I've already forgotten, Lobjoy's green there, our own save seed there, and Lollo Beyonder there. And now I'm just going to firm those down a bit with my fingers, tamping down, that's called. And a little bit of compost going on top. I'm not doing more than, say, 1/2 centimetre. Especially once it's tamped down. And you tamp down to make sure that your seed is in good connection, is snugly in the compost that is below and the compost that is above. Then with the beetroot at the back, I'm sowing 3 or 4 per module. Try to space them out. They're bigger seeds, so they're easier to do in many ways. As I said, I'm doing these modularly sown, but I think I might direct sow some as well. Haven't direct sown beetroot for a while. Far too many in there. Okay, that's 3 or 4 per module. Press down a little like we did. Slightly bigger seeds these, as you can see. This is really nice compost. I'll put who it's from if I remember. It's not a sponsored thing, of course. Let's just level that all off. Someone did say, don't you mind working in soil with bare hands? I usually wear gloves, but when we're doing seed sowing, I love to feel the seed and feel the compost. It's rather lovely. Just rough that surface up a bit. Beetroot label. There we are. our lettuce, 3 types of lettuce and beetroot sown. As I say, the Lobjoy's green, I'm not sure whether that actually is viable or not. The save seed I think is, and the Lolo Beyonder certainly should be, as is the Chioggia beetroot, because that's the one that we sowed earlier in the year, that we planted out from their modular trays last week. Oh, and you might have noticed I pre-wrote the labels. Someone said to me, pre-write your labels and then you don't have to worry about doing it after you've sown it. And you know what? That's such a simple, obvious, clever idea. It really is. It's rather a glorious day out there today. It was a chilly morning. I'm not sure if you can see those seeds blowing in the wind. That's from a tree behind that we call the cotton tree, because this time of year it disperses millions of seeds which float in the air as if they're sort of cotton. I'll try and look up the name and remember. I really enjoyed sowing those seeds. It's such a simple thing to do and it really gives me so much joy. Of course, I enjoyed sowing the broad bean seeds, which were our second sowing, because the first sowing that we did in the winter got munched by mice. The second sowing that we did, I think about mid-January or something, did really well and have grown really well and now been attacked by aphids. Fingers crossed for the ladybird larvae that it'll do the job. Yeah. And fingers crossed that the magpies find something else to eat other than ladybirds and ladybird larvae as well. What a funny old world we live in. But I think gardening, growing and allotmenteering is so much about hope. The hope that the seeds that you sow are going to come to fruition and give you joy throughout their growing period, and obviously give harvests. I mean, the thing that we are getting at the moment is harvests of lots of lettuce, which is really great. That's about it at the moment, but I'm still getting pleasure from the plot, which is really fabulous. You know, I don't think I know I wasn't getting this pleasure last year, or in fact the year before. Because of the potential house move. Last year I didn't get the pleasure from the plot because of the amount of downsides that there were on everything. You know, it was such a bad growing year for so many of us. But this year, fingers crossed, and fingers crossed for those seeds that I've just sown. And before I go home, I'm going to go back into the poly and give them another good water. I'll leave it there for today. See you very soon. Bye. Good day. Look at this giant horsetail. It's massive. It's about 3 foot tall. We're in Swanage on a walk. Oh, look at it over there. Rather fabulous. And we've got Richard here.
Hello.
There he is.
There's something
and Vivi there. I think it must be that dangly tree over there with the seeds.
I keep smelling something that's a beautiful perfume.
Beautiful perfume.
I can smell warm grass. Which is
Oh,
also
look,
lovely
what's
smell.
that? That says DJ on it or something like that. Oh, look, it's a doggy. Hello, doggy. Hello, doggy.
Oh, you brought your ball.
Oh, you got your ball.
Of course, we've been given a ball.
We better
Shall we
leave
play?
him.
Shall we play?
Oh.
You want to throw? Are you ready?
Oh, there's your mummy over
I'm
there.
left-handed. That's it. We're friends for life now, aren't we? Yeah.
Oh, do you want me to throw it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh dear. Oh bless. Just gonna carry on doing that now. Well, we're gonna go down there, so we'll see you later. Well, that's quite a view. Rather gorgeous. Just around the corner from where we've been. This is obviously a walk area. Lots and lots of green. Path going down there. We can see down there is a dock. We saw a boat on there yesterday. But yeah, rather lovely. So we're now up above Peveril Point. That's Peveril Point down there. There's a hawk. I'm not sure if you can see hovering. It's just dived down. Vivi and Richard walking down that way. But you can see the arm going out. And then, if I remember, it sort of banks around a little bit this way as well. And I remember this view from when I must have been about 8 or 9 possibly. I think it was the last holiday we had as a whole family. Mainly because my brothers were 6 and 7 years older than me, so they sort of stayed at home, I think, after this point. But I remember swimming around this area and racing my brother, my middle brother particularly, along here. I think we'd come in from a boat from Weymouth over that way, and had come in by boat rather than car, I think, and landed in the harbour, which is down here. And then I remember walking up a hill, which I assume must be that hill, and then coming right down from where those people are up there, right down to then have a swim in this area. We used to stay in Weymouth because Dad worked for Great Western Railway on the boats, so the boats were free for us then. We'd often go into Marco's cabin, the captain's cabin, for the trip, and occasionally stayed at his house, or once I think in a B&B, and other times with friends of Mum and Dad's. But yeah, I think we came around on a boat from Weymouth, disembarking to my left and then coming down here for a swim. You can only swim, or then I'm not sure if it's legal to swim here now, but you could only swim at a certain time because of the currents. So you could only swim when I think the tide was coming in. Obviously you didn't want to be swept out. Anyway, we're going to carry on our walk, but gosh, this view takes me back 50 years. Yeah, changed a little bit, but hardly at all. Funny when you suddenly get a view and you remember. Anyway, we're going to go that way. I'm going to see if I can see that hawk, but I think I'll catch you another day back at the plot. So goodbye from us from Swanage. Bye. Good day. We've had our gate sale this morning at the allotment, raising money for the allotment funds. Some plants left over. Love this one. Comes up with a spire and lovely yellow flowers. We'll have a look at that on my plot in a minute. Lots of tomatoes left over. There's always lots of tomatoes. Various things here. Aquiledias there. I'll mostly take that back to my plot, look after it for next year. That's an ivy. Various plants and herbs, mint here, and borage. Some onions. We had very few beans this year. It's interesting. Brassicas, more tomatoes, a few grasses, a strawberry, some, I think these are cucumbers. I think they didn't go too well because we weren't sure whether they were cucumbers or not. I think they are, so I'll put a sign on that now. I'll double check our WhatsApp group. More squash over there. So yeah, this is the remnants of the sale. So we did rather well. We raised over 700 quid for allotment funds. So that was great. And we do it simply by opening our gates and putting stands out. And you can see decking boards on top there. That shed actually featured in Vogue a few years ago from a photo shoot about 10 years ago. But yeah, decking boards up there. In fact, 2 of those decking boards are mine. I've just realised. But actually, you know what? I think they're fine to stay there. These on the 2 are mine, and the others are scaff boards. But yeah, we open up this area here, not allowing people to wander the allotments. It's not an open day, it's just a gate sale. So yeah, we did rather well. I've also got a few plants on my plot, well, quite a few, that will be doted out to other people to look after for another year. As you know, I was in Swanage with Richard for a few days seeing Vivi, and we had rain and sunshine, and yeah, some things have really sort of jumped up, it seems, whilst I'm away. Still not sure about these broad beans, whether I leave them in or take them out. I sort of think I'm going to be taking them out, though I am noticing many, look, ladybird larvae there, down there, there's one there, there, there's ladybird larvae everywhere. So I might just give these another few days, because I am thinking if I'm not going to get harvest from them, I might as well just take them out and put more squash in here, because I do have more squash. So that's my thinking. Oh look, the Lychnis is starting to flower. That's lovely. Oh, and this is the one that I was just referring to. It's closed up for the day. You can't really see it that much, but lovely flowers. That plant has become a real favourite of mine. Oh, the comfrey over there is beginning to flower. This bed needs a good weed tomorrow. That'll be Sunday. I'll get on with that. Tomatoes. My job this afternoon is going to be going through these and taking outside shoots, actually. These will be going in the ground next week, but you can see they're pretty decent plants, but they do need to have side shoots taken out, so I'll be doing that in a minute. Why have we got 2 there? Oh, I think I've got another side shoot coming at the top, which I don't want. Anyway, yeah. And these plants here, it looks a bit of a mess. These plants here, some of these are for fellow plotters that I've put aside, but most of them, like these iris here and these soft fruit here and these grasses and things, will be put away to and looked after for next year. And if we come up here and I go this way, not falling over hopefully, we've got more up here too. Those on the bed there, they're a mixture. Yeah, whole mixture. Lungwort, you may have seen some of these before. I will go through all of these, and ones that I think we can keep to next year we will, and any that we can't, I think we'll put them into the wildlife area. Yeah. Oh, and look at this love in the mist, Nigella. Glorious. Glorious. Really lovely. Oh, this bed needs a bit of a weed. That's the potato bed. The potato bed over there really needs a weed. Those potatoes really aren't getting away over there. Oh, I did ask somebody to sprinkle a few slug pellets, and I think maybe a few more than a few have been done. Anyway, my fault for not doing it whilst I was away. But yeah, that rain and the sun we've had have certainly got things going. Yeah, lots of tidying for me to do tomorrow, and watering for me to do in here, and harvesting. I'm going to harvest some lettuce in a minute. I didn't actually ask anyone to water whilst I was away, and this bed certainly needs watering. I did. Oh look, we got some germination. What's this lettuce? Save seed, our own save seed, and there's some germination there. No germination in the other two yet. Is that some? Not sure. And no germination in the beetroot, which is interesting. So I normally find beetroot germinate quickly and lettuce for me a little bit longer. But there we are. And these are some basil that I got at Lidl and put into 4 and potted up. Anyway, there we are. It's now about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I did come down to do a couple of jobs, but you know what? I am really exhausted. I absolutely am. We had a wonderful few days in Swanage. The drive actually there and back isn't too bad. It is 3 hours there and 3 hours back, but it wasn't too bad. This today has really taken it out of me. You know, we start setting up at 9 o'clock. We open the gates at 11. We sell through till 2. And then we tidy up for an hour, put everything away. You know, we have trestles out and scaff over the trestles and that type of thing. And yeah, and I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted, truth be told. I really am. So the jobs that I was going to do today, I think I'll be doing tomorrow. What they'll be, I sort of don't know. There's a bit of weeding to do. I'll check on those broad beans, have a closer look at the broad beans tomorrow. Need to weed that bed by the greenhouse. In the greenhouse, we'll look at them next week. I've got 3 cucumbers that I was given. They're Telegraph cucumbers, English cucumbers, English hothouse cucumbers, in effect, so the long ones. They are growing really well in a trough. I think I might try and do them from seed myself next year, because I'm liking how they're getting on. They're doing really well. We'll look at them, as I say, next week. I'm exhausted. I'm just exhausted. I really am. My brain is not even working. You know what? It's not even working. I'm going to go. There's tidying up to do, which I need to do. That will be tomorrow. And a few jobs to do. That will be tomorrow. And I will just stop waffling and say that I'll see you for further segments of A Week at the Plot as we go through on Planet Vegetaria next week. And in a week's time, there'll be another full upload of A Week at the Plot, with rather a mixed bag of a week this week. Maybe there'll be more sort of concise information for next week. I don't know. You just never know as an allotmenteer. Year by year, week by week, month by month, day by day, things can change. As we saw with the early garlic harvest last week, which I'm so glad I did. Was it Dorothy? I think it was Dorothy on Planet Vegetaria. She took all of hers out early because she also spotted white rot, but unfortunately most of hers had already succumbed to it, which is such a shame. It really is. But hey ho, as gardeners, growers and allotmenteers, we always live in hope of things to come, don't we? Any comments, any questions, any suggestions, please do put them down below. And whatever you are doing in your garden, your allotment or your growing space, I hope you are getting tired but also recuperating and relaxing as well. See you very soon. and happy growing. Bye.